Hi, second graders. Yesterday we read Bartholomew and the Oobleck. So today for science, I thought we could make some Oobleck together. I'm in my kitchen, just like you guys are in your kitchen. If you have the materials, go ahead and make it with me, and if you don't, you can just watch. I have an assistant today. This is Connor, and he's going to help me make this with you guys today. So the materials you need are cornstarch, and they suggest having anywhere between 1 and 2 cups of cornstarch. You need a cup of water. I made my water a little bit warm. That tends to help it work a little bit better. Food coloring is optional. If you have some, it just makes it colorful. I chose green, just like the Oobleck in the book. You need a spoon. You can use a wooden spoon or a metal spoon. I got a couple of rags because cornstarch and Oobleck can be really messy. And earlier I was wearing a white shirt and decided I should probably change because this can get a little bit messy. All right, so the first thing that we'll do is pour a cup of water in our bowl. Make sure you have a big bowl as well. Go ahead and pour that in, Connor. All right. And then the next direction, you don't want to dump all of your cornstarch in at the same time. You kind of want to slowly put some in and then stir as you go. So I'll pour about half of it in. You want to start stirring, Connor?
Yeah, you can pour.
Make sure you get the stuff on the sides.
It's already starting to get super thick.
It's getting harder to stir.
Yeah, because Oobleck gets very thick with the combination of cornstarch and water. For some reason.
But if I look at it, it looks just like a liquid on top.
It looks like milk, but it's not milk.
Pour a little bit more in.
It's getting slowly harder to stir.
And sometimes they say that you might just have to give up the spoon and
Because it might get stuck in there, you know?
and just use your hands. Eventually we'll end up using our hands. So
Yeah.
actually I ended up putting most of my cornstarch in. That was about 1.5 cups. Getting harder to stir.
Kind of.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is stop and put a couple of
It's milk.
squirts of our green food coloring. Make it green just like the book.
And you're wearing a green shirt.
Sure.
That looks like alien slime.
I'm wondering, all right, stop for a minute. I'm almost thinking I need more.
Yeah.
So that wasn't quite a
Hold on,
cup.
hold on.
Oh, not yet. So it's still pretty liquidy. You'll know you have it right when you start patting it down and it feels more solid. All right, so let's try to put a little bit more in.
Now, one thing I noticed when I just slapped down that spoon was I had slapped it down and I felt it kind of like stop me at the very bottom. But then when I slowly stirred the spoon in that same spot, it was just liquid. I was
Okay,
like,
that
there
should
was no cornstarch.
Probably be enough right there. That
Yeah,
would be our
it's
full.
getting
That would be our full
very
2
hard.
cups of cornstarch and a cup of water. Now, if you don't have a lot of cornstarch at home, you can always half this recipe too.
You don't always have to have a bunch of cornstarch. You can make just a little sample of food.
All right, let me see really quick. See how we're doing.
It's very hard to stir. Yeah, there's still a couple more chunks.
Yeah,
sometimes Oobleck takes a little time to,
Yeah.
kind of takes a little time to,
Ooh.
I wouldn't say harden, but more like thicken, It's, now as you can see, it's getting really hard to put the spoon through the mix. So, hold on, I want to have this.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, we found our sweet spot, I think. Oh.
A little bit more.
Watch this.
All right, hold on. Mix that one up a little bit more. My Oobleck's looking a lot more yellow than green. I want more green. You can make blue Oobleck or red, whatever you have, or it can just be white.
Oobleck can be dyed any color. The reason it's getting more yellow is because cornstarch is white, so
Okay.
white plus green equals yellow.
So I think we're probably good and mixed right here. Don't you think?
I would think so.
And
there's still a little bit of cornstarch, but once we get that mixed, it should.
So Oobleck is kind of a different type of matter. We've really been thinking about solids and liquids and identifying those. But Oobleck is one of those substances that doesn't really fall into either one of those categories. It's what we call a non-Newtonian substance, which means sometimes it can act like a liquid and sometimes it can act like a solid. So, for example, if I stick my hand in and pull up,
it just flows.
It flows like a liquid. It takes the shape of its container like a liquid does. But if I grab some and I start applying pressure to it, get some in my hands, and I start squeezing it, it really feels very solid and hard. Sometimes I've even put so much cornstarch in that it actually, when you push, you really feel that it's a solid. Connor, do you want to play in it?
Sure, so for demonstration, the spoon, right now, it can just flow through. Let's say if I were to smack it, it like stops the spoon.
The Oobleck does before he got to the bottom of the bowl.
It won't let me penetrate through the Oobleck.
All right.
And I think the reason why is molecules are like aligned in a way to where when pressure is applied, they all come together in one little ball like a solid would, but water molecules are all over the place. When you hit it, the molecules probably collide into one solid ball or object or something that can't be penetrated through, like a solid.
I think you might be right. Next week, we are actually going to talk about the particles or the molecules that make up solids and liquids and gases. And there is a difference in the way that they interact with each other and the way they are in each of those different types of matter. When you get ready to clean up your Oobleck, we're going to play in this for a few more minutes, but when you get ready to clean your Oobleck up, this is not something I would suggest pouring down your sink because it can sometimes act like a solid and it might stop up your sink. So it's something you can pour in your trash can, pour it in a trash bag and take it outside. Make sure that you clean up your mess. Kids, don't make mom and dad clean it up. So I hope you had fun making Oobleck with Connor and I today, and I'll see you next week. Happy Friday. Bye.